Who's that? We're live.
Morning, everyone. I'm Chaplain Keith. Welcome to Good Heart Church, our 10 o'clock meeting that's we're going to have today, fellowship meeting. And before we get started, we want to thank the people that helped me. My wife, Mary, who does the videoing. My brother, Paul, who is the technical person and keeping track of all your comments and all your suggestions and questions, as well as making sure everything goes. So
It just now started blinking.
well, it's not blinking, doesn't make anything. I'm moving. It's a recording, Mary. You can't see it, but I can see it on the computers. We thought we were having more technical problems, but we're not. So we want to thank them for all the help they give us on these fellowship gatherings, and we just want to ask everybody that's here in the building to silence their phones and be cordial. We do have a second microphone if anybody in the room wants to ask a question or make a comment. And so, again, welcome. Welcome to today's gathering. We are going to be talking about manifestation today. This is a repeat from 2 weeks ago because we did have major technical problems 2 weeks ago. We had all the
But
that's why I say we should always put a new battery in.
yeah. I agree. Have to get it out of this thing.
We don't turn that at all.
Oh. Oh, this is that.
Pull it out.
Okay.
And you got to take that thing off.
Is that the same battery in trouble?
No. So she just used it for other things when she.
That way?
I can't see. Let me see. Still can't see if it doesn't go in and
Yeah.
goes the other way.
Right. Okay. No. Okay. So
You are recording right now.
you're recording.
Turn it off. Pull that out. Okay, so we still had a little technical difficulty. We're still learning how to do this live. We're used to doing YouTube videos by recording them and then editing them. So just bear with us over hopefully by the next time, which will be in 2 weeks, we'll have this figured out. So anyway, today is going to be about manifestation, and we will go over some of what we did, actually everything we did 2 weeks ago because of the technical difficulties we had 2 weeks ago. So with that said, let's go ahead and take a moment of silence, pray to your whatever deity you choose to pray to, and try to connect with your deity and get prepared for today. Where'd she go? We have connected through prayer. Let's go ahead and do a small, very small meditation. Isn't it? We'll talk you through the relaxation process so that you can get into a small meditation to calm down and receive or bring out whatever it is that you need to bring out or receive. Starting at the top of your head, relax your scalp. Relax your temples. Relax your forehead. Take that crease out from in between your eyes and relax it. Relax your eyes and your eyelids. Relax your cheekbones and your jaw. As you relax your jaw, drop your tongue to the bottom of your mouth. So as you drop that tongue to the bottom of your mouth, go on down to your shoulders and drop your shoulders away from your ears. Relax your chest and your neck, your upper back. Relax your belly and lower back. And as you relax your hips and your buttocks, sink down into whatever it is you're sitting on. Not forcing yourself into it, but just relaxing into it. Relax your arms, your elbows, your forearms, your wrists, hands, and fingers. Relax your legs, your upper legs, your knees, your lower legs, ankles, feet, and toes. Now, with each breath out, try to relax a little bit more. And we'll give you a few minutes for you to relax and just meditate into whatever it is that you can receive, that you can bring out whatever it needs to bring out in this meeting. Come on out of your meditative state. Come back to whatever room you're in. Thank your deity or whichever one that you have for bringing you here today and for helping you to receive or express whatever it is that needs to be received or expressed. Come back into this room. So, like I said, today we're going to talk about manifestation, and we spoke about it couple times ago about manifestation, about manifesting what you want, what you need, what you feel you want. And we talked about having the intention of what you wanted. And we mentioned that you wanted to feel the emotion that you would feel if whatever you manifested happened. And then to do the footwork. And so I got to thinking about this afterwards, and I wanted to do a little bit more in-depth discussion on it. And I wanted to I wanted to myself do some in-depth thinking and pondering and contemplating and meditating on it. And two other things came to mind, and one we'll talk about more extensively than the other. But one of the things is that as you manifest things and you want to raise your vibration, sitting in lower vibrations block you from manifesting things. And once you start raising your manifestation or your vibration, you'll see that there are opportunities that come about that you didn't even think would happen. And we want to seize on those opportunities. And that can be something as simple as, well, I can only tell my own story. Something as simple as when I wanted to move to Colorado, my wife and I, we decided to move to Colorado, and we went to manifest it. Everything started working out just perfect. The house sold right when we needed it to, maybe not when we thought we wanted it to, but the house sold. The way of coming down to Colorado from Montana worked. Came down here. We found a place to stay in a campgrounds because we had a camper. We talked to people, got a real estate agent, found the right property. All this was within, from the time we left Montana till the time we got down here, it was less than 6 weeks. And we had purchased property and closed on it. We seized the opportunities as they came. The opportunity to have the right place to live at the right price, the opportunity to find the right property, the opportunity to leave Montana when it was supposed to happen. We actually thought we were going to leave Montana months earlier than we did, but it didn't work that way. But that was okay because once we started moving along, everything fell into place. So we want to seize those opportunities, and they can be very small things that you might say, "Oh, I don't need to do that," and then that can affect the manifestation that you're trying to do. So we want to make sure that we seize on opportunities. But what we want to talk about a lot today is about raising the vibrations. And because the reason we're talking about this today is because through my contemplation of this manifestation work, it has come to me that the lower vibrations block us. So with that in mind, let me show you what the vibrations are. We see that okay? So as you can see on the bottom, these are in hertz. All these numbers, 20, 30, 50, 75, 100, 125, are all in hertz. The red is on the bottom. The red ones are lower vibrations. The blue ones or indigo ones are higher vibrations. Our idea is to raise all the way to the top, all the way to 700 plus. So if anybody is stuck, the person is stuck in shame, which is the lowest vibration, grief, apathy, or guilt, apathy, grief, fear, um, desire, anger, and pride. If we're stuck in any of these, we're not going to be able to manifest because we have too many things involved. It's too lower vibrational, and we need to go to a higher vibration. I feel, this is just my opinion, I feel fear is the number one lower vibration that we feel. I say that because of what has happened in my life. I fear what the Joneses are going to think of me. I fear what um, other things are going to happen. I fear that I'm not going to be successful. I fear that I'm going to fail. I fear all kinds of things. And fear brings us down so that we can no longer manifest what we want. So how do you get through all these to raise up? Because once you raise up, you're going to raise up into courage. As soon as you have the courage to change, things will start happening. As soon as you have the absolute neutrality where you're not judging things and putting judgment on it, it will things will work out better. When you have the willingness to do this change, when you have the willingness to be unjudgmental, when you have then you move up even more, and then acceptance, you accept things as they are, not try to manipulate them to be, and then you do reasoning, and that's more being logical. So then you go to love, joy, peace, and enlightenment. And enlightenment in a lot of these things are called bliss. So we may not be in fear all the time. It might fluctuate between the green and the red. You're not always in the same emotion all the time. But these are subconscious. So you can say, yes, I want to do this, but subconsciously you're fearing something, or you're feeling about something, or you're still grieving the loss of something, or still grieving something else. So that's subconscious, and you may not even know why it's working that way. So just be aware that we're trying to raise up. We're trying to become become one with the enlightenment. What is enlightenment? Enlightenment is being part of the unified field. Enlightenment is being um, totally with your higher power and understanding, totally understanding the whole of the universe, total understanding. Not many of us get there, at least not right now. Um, but that's our ultimate goal. So if we're stuck down here, we can't manifest anything to move up. So we have to start getting rid of fear. We have to get rid of our anger, which is probably grief, anger, and fear are probably the three top ones. Now, there's a lot of people out there with the other ones, and I'm not saying anything wrong with that, but those are probably the top three. That's the triad of what happens to us, or and so we want to try and move through that. How do we move through that? Well, there's a few ways to move through um, those things, and one is um, first of all, you have to realize that you're not going to raise your vibration overnight. It's like going to the gym. You go to the gym, you don't put it, you don't build a six pack in a day. It takes time. So does raising your vibration. And as I mentioned, it doesn't stay the same all the time because of where we are. But one of the ways we can work with this is shadow work. Now, I'll briefly go into shadow work. What is shadow work? Shadow work is dealing with the shadows of your past, things that you have suppressed, things that you have that govern your life subconsciously without you even realizing it. Where do you get that from? You get that from parental pressures, from religious pressures, from societal pressures, from peer pressures, from government pressures. All these things create how we think. We can go into a whole different detail on that, but that's not for today. So how do we deal with shadow work? Well, there are people out there that are trained to deal with shadow work. Um, and you have to remember that even the people that are trained to do shadow work probably have shadows of their own, and they're not completely shadow free. I don't think anybody is shadow free unless they are enlightened. So the other way of doing it is through energy work. What is energy work? You can use Reiki, even massage therapy, acupuncture, anything that deals with energy. You have to understand that when you work with energy, it's not the practitioner that is doing the work. It is you that is doing the work. This is an inside job. You are the only one that can create or can accept this energy work. So therefore, like when I perform or when I channel Reiki, I'm only channeling it. You are drawing. You are doing the work. The vibration of the energy is going into you, and your body and spirit know what energy you need. I'm just attuned to other universal energies that what you are not necessarily attuned to. So therefore, I can channel whatever your body needs, or whatever your spirit needs, or whatever your mind needs. So that's just one example. I use that because I am a Reiki practitioner. So we can do energy work, we can use shadow work. That's a good start. My own theory doesn't have to be yours. My own theory is you start energy working before you start, so that energy can be moving through you before you can move on. And then how do I move on? Meditation, mindfulness, sound healing, positive thinking, um, gratitude, healthy diet and hydration, connecting to nature, practicing kindness, and breath work and yoga. Those are some of the ideas that I've come up with, that I've sort of put down, that can be helpful. Um, Sound healing deals with hertz, and that's what we're trying to do, is raise our hertz, raise our vibration, and sound healing helps you to do that. Meditation, in my book, is the number one. Meditation gets you into a spot where you can connect with the universe, you can connect with your higher power, you can connect with your own spirit, keeping in mind that we are not a body with a spirit, but we are rather a spirit with a body, or a soul with a body, however you want to however you want to word it. um, so there are many things here, like I said: positive thinking, making well, I can't think of the word now, when you mantras, saying mantras to help you remember things, help you to get the right vibration in it. The When you talk about different faiths, you'll see that some faiths have chanting or drumming, or saying certain mantras, and they say it over and over and over and over and over again. And people say, why do they do that? The reason they do that, and the reason they do it in such a monotone, oftentimes, is because it creates a vibration in your body. And that vibration resonates with a vibration in the universe, or in the Earth Mother. And so when you repeat it and repeat it and repeat it, you're recreating every time that vibration to bring into you, and that helps to raise you. The other thing that we want to speak of is breath work. Breath work, our biggest connection with the outside from our physical, is our breath. And breath, as a fellow once told me, that breath in Greek meant spirit. And that's so true. No matter what you do, what you look at, it makes so much more sense, because breath is what feeds your spirit. It's what the spirit coming into you. It's the breathing of your higher power. It's the breathing of the universe. It's the breathing of your deity. It's the breathing of whatever you want. You can look that up for yourself. So many things can be dealt with between breath work, meditation, and some people like the yoga. Other people don't like the yoga, but yoga is misused in society today, at least in the Western world, is misused. is used only for physical when in fact it's supposed to be a very spiritual experience and to limber you up and bring in the vibrations that you need and make your spine straight so that the energy centers in your spine are able to accept and balance the energies that are coming in. So those are some really big things. We just have to remember that we're not going to do this. I've been studying and meditating for many years before I ever got to a point that I felt that I that when before I was called to do what I'm doing today. We have to ask for guidance because we're not here to know everything in this physical form. So we have to ask for guidance from outside, whether that be through meditation in your higher power or be through somebody else. Um, and I caution people that when they find and look for a spiritual mentor or a spiritual advisor or whatever you want to call it, spiritual counselor, you find somebody that is not going to tell you how to believe. I mean, I'm bringing up information for you. That's just information for you to think about, not for you to say this is the way it is. I want you to find somebody that just information for you to think about, not for you to say this is the way it is. I want you to find somebody that lets you think for yourself and lets you find out for yourself what is truth, not what their truth is, not what they say is the only truth, because that's where we get into religion. This is where we get into spirituality, is where we can make our own decisions. And the next time we meet, we will talking about thinking for yourself and dealing with that. We'll talk a little bit about that as well. So that's going to be on August 31st, because there's too many times that we deal with people who say this is the way it is and you have to believe it this way, and we don't want to get into that with spiritual seeking. Um, so I don't know if we have any questions. I think I went through this a little bit faster today than I did 2 weeks ago. And I don't know if we have any questions or comments from on site on the thing or from in here. It's gonna be a short meeting today. That's okay. Any comments on there at all, Paul? No, we don't have to. We don't have to linger if people are not wanting to have nothing to say. That's fine. They can. We do want to remind everybody that this is on for. It stays on YouTube. Once this is recorded, um, you can always go back and see it at any time. You don't have to just be here live. Although we don't get we still would like your comments, subscriptions, and thumbs up, whether you're on live or whether you're looking at it afterwards. But this is not just live and then gone. It is on the YouTube channel. Um, and YouTube channel is YouTube at is a Good Heart Church 333. That is the YouTube channel. We will be starting a website soon, and you'll be able to get more information and we'll have other things available for you to use other than just this fellowship gathering. So,
I have a question.
which is
I just wonder, what does manifestation, how is it related to material things? And can you drift into, like craving more material things, or what is your thoughts on that?
okay. My thoughts on that first is when you're craving material things. Let's start with that. When you're craving material things, and especially when you're not receiving them, you're down here. You're down here at pride, or you're down here at desire. Okay. Let me go on this side because if you can hit me over here, mostly desire. Okay. Without trying to manifest it, because we really only need certain things in this life. And if we move up the ladder and become particularly willing and no judgment, which is absolute neutrality, then those material things that you desire go away. You stop judging and saying, I have to have a new truck, because that's a judgment on yourself, not a judgment on other people necessarily, but it's a judgment on yourself saying, I have to have the best. But when you say that that truck is just your means and you don't judge it, and you can let go of anything in the third dimension, anything material, now you're moving up the ladder in vibration. Um, I had a friend of mine who was quite a spiritual mentor of mine, who was constantly saying, well, he'd buy things and stop, and then all of a sudden, I don't need it anymore. And he'd get rid of it before he ever did anything with it. He'd buy an engine and he never fixed. He'd buy a truck and then get rid of it. He'd buy a house and then he'd sell it, move clear across the country, you know, because material things didn't mean anything to him. And that was because he was of a higher vibration. But when you're down at desire, you're still down on the lower parts of the vibrational field. Now, this is done by a guy by the name of Dr. Hawkins, who came up with all these. Well, I didn't come up with them. And you can look any of this up online and get a better picture of it, or you can read about it. What was the second half of your question?
Um, well,
I started at the last half.
I guess I think that, and I guess my thinking is, uh, if I want to manifest things, then I'm just being materialistic and I'm not.
Okay, well,
Right?
okay. So that's not really true, because we're manifesting right now. We have everything that happens in our life, we manifest. Everything we happen in our life, we've manifested. We might manifest it out of grief, out of fear, out of desire. We might manifest it, but we don't seem to be getting anywhere in life because we're not up here manifesting a higher vibrational thing. So if you're always in a situation and you say, I just can't get anywhere. I'm always angry. I'm always in this situation. I'm always in that situation. You're manifesting that. You get back what you put out. If you put out an anger, you're going to get back an anger. If you put out love, you're going to get back love. So that's manifestation in and of itself. So that's what we're looking at. So we are always manifesting. We just aren't always manifesting what we think we want or deserve. And why can't we get what we want or deserve? Is because we're manifesting everything down here. We're not manifesting through up here. So therefore, we get what we get. We get what's down here. If we're always on desire, we're always going to be desirable. We're going to be undesirable to maybe other people, but we're going to feel the desire to want, 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 want. If we're prideful is a very strange feeling, because it's almost like it's what most people would call being egotistical. I'm better than you. I'm proud of what I've done. You're not as good as me. That's being prideful. But once we get up in the courage to change, and that's where we have to start looking, is when we have the courage, neutrality, willingness, acceptance, and then start reasoning things out. Now, this is the third dimensional, or the lower. This is what you would call the green. Here is what you would be called um, your mental stage, and this would be the spiritual stages. more spiritual stages. So even at reasoning, which is the highest, is because it's your mental stage. That's when you start thinking everything still is through your brain here, not through love and above. So it all depends on where you are on the thing. Where and like I say, you can find some things out there that you're non-judgmental about, and then something else comes along and you're gonna be prideful of it or fear it or be feel guilt because you're not doing it or because you can go back and forth in this. It's not you're not always in one place, especially when you're in here. When you're up here, you're pretty much going to stay up there because now you're high enough resonating frequency that you're staying in a more loving, peaceful, joyous manner. So, does that answer your question?
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? I should have my staff when I stand up. My leg is hurting me. There was something else I thought about mentioning when I think I might have mentioned it, but I guess we just want to be aware that this is food for thought. It's not necessarily that you have to believe this way. It's food for thought. And we're going to get really into that next time. Thinking for yourself and about we're looking at different ways of dealing with things. So anybody else before we quit?
I just wanted to point out you were talking about going down, to say grief and back up and that. I can remember watching an interview with the Dalai Lama, and one might consider him enlightened or close to it, but even he says that he fights with that same thing every day of going from the lower vibrations back up to the higher, and the people at his, for lack of a better word, level, the only difference between them and those of us who are average people is that they recognize what they're doing quicker and can change the vibration at a much more rapid pace than what we do. We have to think about it because we think instead of feel with our heart. We think, and because we're not at that higher vibrational level. And that's, I just wanted to point that out, that even that everybody in a human body goes through that. It doesn't matter how high up in vibration you are. There are things that are always going to bring you down. It's how quickly you go back up in that keeps you at that higher vibration and closer to the enlightenment goal.
That's a good point, and I think that that just shows us that we are always bouncing around. We don't stay in one vibration consistently, But the higher you can keep your vibration, the better you can manifest. But you have to. I mean, this is just the. I get into this vibration so much today because this is just the. Seems to me to be very important in order to be able to have the intention and to be able to have the right feeling for whatever you're trying to manifest and be able to do the right footwork. And the right footwork is what? Finding the opportunities and seizing them as well as, so I think that that's what but that's a good, I'm glad that was said because now we can see that as long as we're in this human body, we're going to fluctuate. It's just the way it is. It doesn't matter who you are, as long as you're going to fluctuate on this. So that's very good. I'm glad thank you very much for that. So, anybody else? You got any comments on the screen? What time is it?
40 minutes.
That's not bad. Okay, everybody. The next meeting will be August 31st. It will be on thinking for yourself and questioning things. And that will be at 10 o'clock. I think it's the 31st. Is that 2 weeks from today, the 31st? And then after the 31st, we'll be here every week, not just every other week. We just did every other week through the summer to get started. As you can see, we haven't perfected this, but we're working on it, and it'll happen when it happens. We're not supposed to be perfect. We're all human too. So if you don't like my imperfection, I guess you won't watch me. But we would love to have you here as often as possible. We'd love to hear your comments and hear your suggestions and give us ideas of what you're. That's one of the things we want in the comments is to know what it is that you want covered. We had one suggestion, and we haven't seen this lady lately, but we had one suggestion about talking about the new Earth, and I think we're not quite ready for that yet, but we will get into that at some point. Right now, I'm trying to hit some of the basics and of a beginning spiritual seeker instead of just somebody who is already a little more advanced. And what I do before we leave, though, I do want to say this much: don't compare yourself to anybody. You're right where you're supposed to be. It doesn't matter whether you feel somebody's more advanced than you or not. They had to start where you were at some point. So don't compare yourself. You're right where you're supposed to be, and that's the right place for you. So we'll see you on August 31st. Be spiritual in everything you do.